Very good afternoon to all. Welcome to Tally CA Connect. So over the last couple of sessions, we had discussed the new TallyPrime features, which has come in 6.1, such as the enhanced edit log, the revised MSME Form 1, and the IMS. And we noticed that there were a lot of queries on the IMS part in particular. And today, which is why we have scheduled this session specifically on IMS to help you resolve all your queries to understand the feature better. And if you like it, please do adopt and upgrade to TallyPrime 6.1. We have with us CA Parth Patel. Parth is from Tally Solutions Product Excellence team and our go-to person for any doubts we have. So Parth, thank you so much for doing this, and let's make the best out of it. And we have 100 plus people already with us. So let's start with the IMS feature of TallyPrime 6.1. Thank you.
Yeah, Komal, my pleasure to connect all the time. Please confirm my screen is visible. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So let's quickly jump onto the IMS. Everyone knows this IMS is introduced on the GST portal from October 2024, and it is voluntary at the moment. It is at the discretion of taxpayer whether they want to update the status in the IMS through the portal or not. So Tally has already introduced this IMS in the version release 6.1. So before that, let's first understand why IMS. So let's understand the existing practice of claiming ITC, how we claim ITC currently without the IMS, because there are hardly 1 or 2% of the total taxpayers which are experiencing IMS. The rest of the taxpayers are not exposed to IMS at the moment, right? So currently, what do? We have GSTR1 and invoicing. Whatever GSTR1 is filed or invoices are generated, that data gets transmitted to GSTR1, and in turn, that entire data is transmitted on 14th of the month to the GSTR2B return. So we consider GSTR2B return as a final return for claiming ITC. Now, once we get the GSTR2B, we reconcile with the books, or in some exceptional cases, we claim all the credits as per GSTR2B, and then we go for ITC adjustments and pay taxes. Now, these ITC adjustments and reconciliation are creating a lot of reconciliations internally month by month, as well as it piles up to annual reconciliation. For example, I have personal ITC, which I want to, which I have claimed inadvertently, right, by mistake, which I should be reversing. There are goods in transit, so that is reflecting in my GSTR2B, but since it is reflecting in my 2B and I am having those goods in transit, I cannot claim it. So again, I'll have to defer that ITC. I'll have to reverse in this month and will claim back in the next month when we receive the goods in that particular month. Probably there are wrong invoices which are uploaded by some party citing the wrong GST number or a data entry error for the GSTN, right? That can also happen. So we have to reverse that as an ITC adjustment. There are few ineligible ITCs which we identify from the provisions of the GST, which we have to reverse, right? So all these situations, we have ITC adjustments and reconciliations within the GSTR2B. So GSTR2B has become a complex return from the assessment perspective. Now, what is the solution to this? So IMS is a clear solution to this. Let's understand the perspective of IMS. So from the type of supply, there are two types of IMS available on the GST portal as of now. The first one is IMS inward. So IMS inward is for purchase and expenses, that is for inward supplies. So whatever purchases we have for a current period, for a particular period or expenses, all those bills will be classified into IMS inward section on the GST portal. There is another section called IMS outward. IMS outward is for viewing the actions which are taken by our customers on the invoices which are uploaded by us. So as a business, I'm uploading my GSTR1 every month or a quarter. Whether they have accepted through IMS or rejected, or they have kept it pending, that I can know it from the IMS outward itself. And IMS inward is for taking action from our side as a buyer to accept, reject, or keep a particular invoice pending for a specific month. Now, why we should be doing this? Why one should be doing this? Why a business should be doing this, right? So let's understand what IMS does when we use it for claiming ITC. So how will be the ITC claim process with respect to IMS inward if a business is using IMS inward, right? So GSTR1 and invoicing, the data gets transmitted to GSTR2B in the normal circumstances, right? But here in this case, since October 2024, all the data of outward supplies now gets automatically transmitted to IMS. So now there is one temporary return called IMS. That's a functionality or a facility to update the status of invoices before GSTR2B is finally generated, right? So let's say all the invoices will be transmitted to IMS. Once those invoices are transmitted to IMS, as a business, we can accept or we can reject those particular invoices. And based on the action taken, GSTR2B for that particular period will be generated, filtered out. So we can say that IMS is a tool to filter out the GSTR2B, which is automatically populated on the GST portal. So in that case, we can have certain things like ITC adjustments, which we are not going to take it, and we know those adjustments right from the beginning of that particular month. So we can avoid particular ITC adjustments in GSTR3B wide amount adjustments, right? So our ITC reversal columns or rows in GSTR3B can be almost negligible or nil if a business follows IMS. Let's say if there are or ineligible ITCs which we shouldn't be taking up. So all this can be rejected or kept pending on the IMS by virtue of doing that particular action. Whatever invoices we are getting in the GSTR2B are filtered invoices, and once we get the GSTR2B filtered as per the eligible ITC, simply this can be automatically used to generate the liability without any further ITC adjustments at the total amount level as well. So this ITC adjustments can go away, majority of ITC adjustments can go away at the GSTR2B level, and we can get the GSTR2B absolutely clean and as per the eligible ITC. So let's understand how the IMS works. So let's say GSTR1 is filed or IFF is filed, then that particular invoice or a record is transmitted to IMS. Now in IMS, there are 4 actions which a taxpayer is supposed to take. First one is accept. The moment it is accepted, it is transmitted to GSTR2B. If a taxpayer is rejecting that particular invoice, it still forms part of GSTR2B, but it is covered under the excluded invoice in the GSTR2B, that the invoices which a business has rejected. Let's say there are no action taken. Currently, this is the practice which is ongoing. If you look from the adoption perspective, if there are no action taken on the IMS, GST portal will believe that all the records are accepted by the particular GST taxpayers and all the bills will be forming part of GSTR2B. Let's say if we keep particular bill pending, for example, what we have discussed on the goods in transit. So we have yet not received that particular goods. If we are not taking action on the IMS, probably we will reverse that particular ITC of that bill which is in transit in the current month, and on the next month we will reclaim that particular ITC on the next month. So this kind of situation will not arise if the same is kept pending in the IMS. GST portal will carry forward that particular invoice for goods which is in transit to the next month. So we need not do any adjustment in GSTR2B for that particular month. And whenever on the next month we receive that goods, again on the next month, we can change the status of that pending invoice to accepted invoice. So that way, it will reduce the reconciliation reversals within the month. Usually we do reconciliation and reversals for a specific amount, not for a specific invoice. So this will also reduce efforts with respect to the reconciliations and reversals which we are doing in total, and we will have absolute invoice wise breakup of all the transactions which are accepted, rejected, or kept pending. So the moment we have taken action on the IMS of accepting, rejecting, and keeping those pending, accordingly GSTR2B can be recomputed. There is a button called recompute GSTR2B, and the moment we do the same, it will change the status of all the bills as per the GST taxpayers choice, and accordingly GSTR2B will be filtered out, recalculated, or recomputed, and thus the correct value will flow to GSTR3B for the ITC section. Right. Now, which are the bills that will be covered within the IMS? So currently, as per the framework, B2B invoices, original as well as amended, will be covered. Credit notes and debit notes, original credit note and debit note plus amended credit note and debit notes will be covered. The rest will not be available, will not be part of IMS as of now. For example, few reverse charge invoices that will flow directly to GSTR2B. There are input of goods that flows directly from EDI system of customs that will directly flow to GSTR2B. There are few ITC which are ineligible due to place of supplier rules, which is currently reflecting in GSTR2B as an ineligible ITC, that will reflect same as ineligible in 2B, and that will not be available to take action because as per rules, the ITC is not available. So there is no particular action needed. No B2C invoices will be available in this. In B2C, we only have a total amount. Nil rated or exempted or non-GST supplies will not be part of IMS. Accordingly, the last date for availing ITC is 30th November of the end of the financial year, right? So whatever ITC is not claimed for a previous financial year up to 30th November, then the same amount of bills or number of bills will not be available in the next IMS period, right? So these are few invoices, which types of invoices which are available in IMS and which are not available, that that we should be knowing, so that we have accuracy in updating the status of bills, right? So let's understand how this will be taken care by TallyPrime 6.1. Just confirm out whether you are able to view Tally screen. Can someone please confirm?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so here we have a company called National Trading Company, right? Let's first connect our TallyPrime with the GST portal through API. So to connect that, firstly, we have to log into GST portal and enable the API access. So everyone will be knowing this process. It is the same process which we visit the portal, go to my profile section, and in my profile there is manage API option, and in manage API we mark it as yes, and then our API access is enabled by the GST portal. Once we do that small process of less than a minute, then in TallyPrime we need to go to exchange menu. In exchange menu, we have option of GST login logout. We are firstly connecting our company with the GST API. So once we do that process, we already have a username which is entered in this company. Don't worry if you haven't entered any user name in the GST masters. You will have option here to update the GST username here itself on the same screen, and then you can ask for OTP. So the OTP will flow to that particular mobile number registered on the GST portal. Once we have that OTP, then this company is connected with the GST API. Once we have this company connected, usually we will go to GST reports. So for going to GST reports, we will go through display more reports, statutory reports, and GST reports. Now in this GST reports window, you will see there is a new option called Invoice Management System under the category Reconciliation Reports. So here we'll click on the Invoice Management System. Right. So here, now we are inside the IMS report. This report is for IMS inward supplies, that is for the purchases or expenses invoice that we are incurring for a particular period. Now you can see on the screen that there is no period mentioned on the screen. Usually in case of every window of TallyPrime reports, we have a specific option of period, but here in this screen there is no option of period. So since IMS is a temporary and transiting returns, I would say a facility wherein there is no such period. Whatever bills are there, in total we get the bills downloaded from the portal which are available, which are pending, right, which are actioned and not actioned. Once that particular return is filed for that period, IMS for that particular period gets to a 0. That means all the invoices from that particular IMS gets removed, and fresh IMS for the next period is formed based on the GSTR1 filed by the counterparty. Right? So there is no period in this particular window in the IMS. Now, what we are supposed to do? Simply first, we need to update the status of the purchase and expense bills. So for that, we will need to bring whatever is IMS bills reflecting in our GST portal inside TallyPrime. So to bring that, again, we will go to exchange menu, and again in exchange menu, we have option called download IMS inward invoices. So in download IMS inward invoices, we will click on this and it will ask us whether you want to download for this particular GSTN. In our company, we have this GSTN which is enabled and connected with the GST API. So simply we can click on the download button and it is already connected to GST API and it will download the IMS for that particular period which is pending. So once we have downloaded the IMS, we can check the status from the online GST activity tracker, whether it is downloaded successfully or not, right? Here we can see on the screen it is downloaded successfully, so no need to go to activity tracker. But in case you need to check the further status and in case of failure, you can go there and recheck that. We will press escape here so that we can simply go to IMS. So now you can see on the same screen, we have data in two colors. One is a blue one and another one is a black color. Whatever is in the black color, that is the data which we have in accounting. Whatever is in the blue color, that is the data of IMS which TallyPrime has fetched from the GST portal APIs, right? On the same screen, you can see the moment we have downloaded, total vouchers have been bifurcated into two parts. One is invoices filed by supplier, and second one is invoices yet to be filed by supplier. So here, since IMS is a real-time invoice management facility, so whichever counterparty is either saving invoice in GSTR1, or either they are generating e-invoice on a daily basis, or they have filed GSTR1 for a specific period. So there will always be invoices in two categories. One is invoices for which a supplier has already filed GSTR1, that will reflect in this category, that is invoice filed by supplier in the first category. And the second category is invoices yet to be filed by supplier. That means they have either uploaded or saved their invoices on the GSTR1, or they have generated invoices which got transmitted to GSTR1 automatically, but they have yet not filed GSTR1, right? So you can view the status of all the bills which are filed and not filed by the counterparty on the GST portal on the TallyPrime screen itself. Currently, this is the default IMS view. Now, what action is required from our side? Correct. So we need to either accept those bills or reject it, or we are not clear about the ITC claim, we can keep it pending and roll it over to the next period. So to take care of that operations, there are two further views in which we can view it, classify it, and take a particular action. For example, an accountant is downloading IMS and doing it further action points on this invoices. On the right hand side, we have an option called Recon View. So we can click on the Recon View. The moment we click on the Recon View, it will classify all the bills between reconciled, mismatched, and available on link portal. Reconciled bills means, let's go inside the reconciled bills. So these all are the reconciled bills. So whenever we have any invoices which are downloaded in IMS inside TallyPrime, and the corresponding entry is available in TallyPrime, and everything is matching with respect to GST and taxable amount and GST amount, it will automatically change the status to accepted. So individually, as a Tally user, we will need not change the status of each and every invoices which we have fetched from TallyPrime, from GST portal inside TallyPrime, in order to save time. Whatever is matching with my current purchases will be changed as accepted automatically, right? If we want to have a comparison view of what is there in the GST portal and what is entered by a user inside an entry, we can click on that particular entry and you can see that on the left hand side, the text is in blue. That is the data which is fetched from the IMS portal for that particular invoice. And on the right hand side, the text in the blue is a data of an entry or a transaction entry that we have passed inside our Tally. So we can view the comparison view on different parameters, which is provided by the IMS on different fields. What is matching, right? So here it is matching, so it is already accepted, right? If something is a mismatch, then we need to look out on the mismatch side. Let's go to B2B invoices for a category and see what is happening inside B2B transactions. So whenever we have entered inside the B2B, we will have the party-wise view. And on the last column, we have an option called action status. Whatever action we have taken to update the status of a particular party, if we have updated, it will reflect here as acted or not acted, right? So we can also update the status party wise. Also, we can update the status bill wise. So to update the status bill wise, we will click on the F5 voucher wise. Let's click on the F5 voucher wise. So here we have a total view of what all are available only on the portal, which we have yet not entered in our TallyPrime, what all are entered in TallyPrime and got reconciled with the IMS data that we have just downloaded, right? So these are all the reconciled. Now we will need to update the status of transactions which are not reconciled. That means they are available in portal. So there is also an option of potential match on the right hand side. So if we see on the right hand side, there is a option called potential matches. This button will help us to identify if there are some minor differences, if there are one or two parameters which are not matching, but the rest of parameters are matching. So we can match those particular invoices and update the status. Please note here, the approach we should be taking for processing the IMS inward is to check the status of invoices inside TallyPrime and correspondingly update it to GST portal, right? It will not be a pure reconciliation approach. It will be, the objective is to update the status, whether that bill pertains to us and whether we should be accepting that particular bill or not. That is the prime focus of IMS. So we'll click on the potential matches. Let's go to potential matches. Now, the moment we are clicking on the potential matches, there can be two situations. The potential matches can be matching on the same period, that is the May, or potential matches can also be in a particular quarter or can also be in the entire financial year. So here, if you want to match it within that specific period, that is, for example, May, in our case, it is May 25, right? So we can click on continue. Let's say if it is not May, we can change the period here and we can ask Tally to search it across the financial year, and it will search across the financial year for potential matches. So here it has searched across financial year. So the period here is a user defined. You can choose the period depending on the data and the data entry practices you observe for your clients, right? So these are the bills wherein only bill number and date is not matching, the rest amount and GSTN is matching. So we'll click on those bills together. We will select those and we can click on the copy doc number and date from portal. It will replicate the doc number and date on the portal to the vouchers inside. The moment it will replicate, it will match. Right? So this way we reconcile and we can change the status, right? So now let's go to the third view. The third view is the action view. Let's say I'm a business owner and I want to view which bills are actioned upon, which bills are not actioned upon, which bills requires an action. I will click on the action view. That is the third type of view available in TallyPrime. So the moment we go on the action view, here the same breakup will be available. Invoices filed by supplier, not filed by supplier, yet to be filed by supplier. But inside the invoice filed by supplier, we will come to know that on which bills actions are required. For example, we have 31 bills which have already been accepted. So these are the list of bills which are already set as accepted. In case we want to action it on our own, right, we can click on Control Space Bar, and on the right hand side there is a button called F10, Set Action Status. Click on the action status and you can accept all the bills which are reconciled at a click button together. No need to do it one by one. No need to update it one by one. Let's say there are few bills for which we need to take an action. For example, these are the bills which are available only in portal, these are reconciled. So we can click on the reconcile, and out of reconcile, we have these two bills which are still under transit, correct? So the rest three, we can set the status of action as accepted. And for the rest of two bills, we can select together and keep it pending, correct? And effective date. So the effective date should be, let's say, some May. So now the next effective date should be June 25, correct? So that will move from here and it will be set as a pending. Now the rest are available only on portal. So let's say these bills are pertain to us. So we can mark those bills as accepted by selecting multiple bills. And these are the bills which are not our ITC, probably by mistake suppliers have uploaded the same. We can select those together and reject the same. So on the same screen, what we have done is we have actioned all the invoices based on the ITC availability, based on the identification of those particular invoices. So let's say once we have updated the status of all the bills inside TallyPrimes on the IMS inward supplies window, we will again need to update the same to the GST portal. So we will go back to the exchange menu. In under all GST options, we have upload IMS inward invoices. We will click on the upload IMS invoices, and there you can see all the invoices which are pending status update on the GST portal from the Tally side. So here we can see all the list of invoices in the May which needs update on the GST portal. On the last column, you can see the action status, which bills we have accepted, which bills we have marked as pending, right? And which bill we have rejected, that we can see on the last screen. So here we can verify and understand before updating the same to the GST portal, which invoices we are rejecting. Even on updating the status, we can filter it out on the same screen from the basis of value. For example, on the upload window, I want to update the status of only accepted invoices as of now, right? So I can filter it out accepted invoices. So on the upload window, it will show me only accepted invoices, correct? Because usually whatever rejections and pending, I always keep it to the last moment. So I can select through control spacebar all the invoices on the same screen, all the invoices on the same screen, right? And click on send online. So at a click of button, all the status of 60 invoices will be updated on the GST portal at a click of button. Now, after updating the status on the GST portal, do I want to change the status of the same and recalculate my GSTR to be accordingly? Let's say if I want to do the same thing right now, just after updating the status, I can do the recompute GSTR2B, and it will recompute my GSTR2B on the GST portal as per the invoices status change inside TallyPrime. But since we are not doing this because we have already uploaded the accepted, but there are few invoices which are rejected and pending, which we haven't uploaded yet. So again, we will go to basis of values and we will go through all the statuses, right? So after checking all the statuses from basis of values, you can see that only those invoices which are not yet uploaded are appearing on this upload screen. So again, on the second time, we can either individually upload the status. For example, I have first three bills and I am selecting those three bills and updating the status on IMS. I can also do that. That flexibility is already there, and I can select all together by control spacebar and upload all the invoices at a click of button. In the event that we are not selecting anything, then TallyPrime will consider all the invoices on the upload window as selected and upload the status of all the invoices on the GST portal. So just after that, we can recompute the GSTR2B, and accordingly, GSTR2B will be filtered out as per the invoice status update on TallyPrime. So this is how we can simply update the status of invoices inside TallyPrime, can connect with the GST portal and can get the filtered GSTR2B for the accurate GSTR ITC claim, and whatever are the adjustments, ITC adjustments with respect to reversals or delaying ITC or deferment of ITC, those can be avoided using these operations. Majority of those adjustments can be avoided that will not form part of 2B, that will be excluded category of GSTR 2B, and annual reconciliation and annual matching will be a breeze with this. So that's it in terms of product presentation. Komal, we can go through any questions that we have from our fellows.
Yeah, there are. If you can see the Q&A, as of now, there are 5 open questions. One is for the presentation and the second. Are you able to see the Q&A?
I'm not able to see because I rejoined, so those questions will remove
Oh,
from.
acha. Okay, so I'll just read out to you. Can we do 2B with 3B reconciliation, sir? I think it's not
So
related.
GSTR 2B reconciliation is part of TallyPrime version 5.0, which we launched back last year in September. So you can do GSTR 2B reconciliation from TallyPrime itself, and GSTR 3B reconciliation, you can also do it from TallyPrime. In the exchange menu, whenever you download GST returns, there are options of downloading GSTR 3B as well. So if you have filed GSTR 3B, you can download the GSTR 3B you have filed on the GST portal and can match it. So you will have one question when you are going for a GSTR 3B reconciliation, because under reconciliation report, we do not have GSTR 3B reconciliation. So how to check GSTR 3B reconciliation? Click on the GSTR 3B, go inside GSTR 3B. Here, the moment you download the GST returns, you will be able to see comparison of books and portal values from the GSTR 3B return report itself. No need to go for a separate report, or no need to find GSTR 3B reconciliation report. GSTR 3B reconciliation, if you download GSTR 3B inside TallyPrime, you can view it from the GSTR 3B report itself from basis of value. Yes, next question.
Can we connect with portal through password?
Currently, we can connect TallyPrime through GST API, and GST API supports only and only OTP mode to connect through the GST portal.
Okay, kindly repeat the login part.
Okay, so let's say we want to connect our TallyPrime data with the GST portal. So as a first step, you need to go to portal, you need to visit the portal, and in portal, once you log into the portal, under my profile, there is an option called Manage API Access. In Manage API Access, you allow that API access by clicking on the yes. Once that API access is enabled, then inside TallyPrime, go to Exchange menu, click on the All GST options, and use the option called GST Login Logout. Since we are already logged in, it is asking us to logging out. So if you are not, let's say we log out of this. So currently we are logged out. Now again, let's go to All GST option, GST Login. So here you can update your GST username. If you haven't entered your GST username, click here on the Update GST Username. And once you update the GST username, then click on the Send OTP. The moment you enter that particular OTP from API, TallyPrime will get connected to GST API through OTP. This OTP, so one-time connection will be valid for 6 hours. For the next 6 hours, you will not need OTP to download any data, may it be you are downloading GSTR1 or a 2A or a 2B or a 3B or IMS for any period, you can download all the returns without OTP just by one-time connection for the 6 hours.
Okay, can we go to the next question?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Sir, if the data in our book shows ineligible data but show as accepted,
Can you repeat it a little
if
bit?
the data in our books shows ineligible data but show as accepted.
Okay, so here you're talking about scenario wherein when you have entered any data or a particular purchase, you have marked it as ineligible, right? When you have entered data. And on the GST portal, those bills is uploaded, correct? So in that case, you need to accept it because that is an ITC, that is a bill which pertains to you, that you will accept it. That will be forming part of ITC ineligible if as per POS rules it is ineligible. So you need not do any adjustment for the same. Simply accept it and it will form part of GSTR2B excluded category, and in excluded bucket it will show as per ineligible ITC in as per POS rules. Yes, Kumar.
Yeah. What is the difference between default view and action view?
Okay, so default view, in default view we have given as per the default view which is as per IMS, wherein you can get the uh, category bifurcation in invoice filed and yet to be filed as per the action taken and action not taken, and in action view it shows which action you have taken. So in default view, what you need to do for a particular category or a bucket of invoices are listed here inside a specific parent category, but on the action view it will show how many bills you have accepted, how many bills you have rejected, how many bills you have kept as pending. So that is a difference between action view and the default view. In the action view you will come to know which are all the bills which are accepted or rejected, but under the default IMS view you will not have that visibility. You will only have visibility as to for which bills actions are taken, for which bills are ready to upload, which are not uploaded to IMS, and for which bills I need to take an action and update the status of bills. Yes, next question.
Yeah. Regarding blocked credit invoice, first need to accept, later need to reverse, or can it be directly rejected?
Yes, it can also be rejected. The moment you make it rejected, it forms part of excluded category in GSTR2B. So again, that invoice will be part of your GSTR2B, but within the excluded category. So in total ITC eligible amount, that will not be a part of ITC amount eligible. And that way you can ensure that you did not do manual adjustment of reversals, for which ITC you are not going to take at any point of time in your books of accounts. So you can reject it definitely. Still it will be shown in 2B as excluded category.
Okay. So there are two questions on the OTP part, that every time we need to take the OTP from client, or do we need to enter OTP every time?
Yeah, so OTP has to be entered as per the authorization mechanism by GST portal. GST portal has kept only one mechanism of OTP authorization for API access. So that will need to be fetched from the registered mobile ID or a registered email ID.
Okay. And
But once you are connecting TallyPrime using OTP, that connection will remain valid for 6 hours. So every time you did not provide OTP, it is just one time. in the next 6 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once we accept it, can we change the status?
Absolutely. So let's say you are processing either IMS on a weekly basis, or a business if has a huge volume, they can also process it on a daily basis. IMS can be changed n number of times, any number of times before GSTR3B is filed. Once you file GSTR3B, all your IMS data gets vanished and your IMS is null. So before filing GSTR3B, you can change the status of invoices any number of times. Let's say we have made a mistake a week back of rejecting few bills, but still we have not filed GSTR3B. You can again go to IMS and change the status of those bills wherein you have made a mistake and recompute GSTR2B. Accordingly, your GSTR to be recomputed and you can file the GSTR3B with the correct amount of ITC.
Okay. Yeah. Can we make purchase entries directly from the IMS portal through purchase voucher?
Currently, this cannot be done. This is also due to a fact that there is a data limitation with respect to a particular transaction. For example, in GSTR2B, if you see from the December onwards, December 24 onwards, the GST portal is not providing the rate data for a particular transaction. So that way we don't have sufficient and total information with respect to a transaction to convert it to a transaction, just like we have in bank reconciliation in 6.0. So here we have a limitation with respect to data which is flowing from the GST portal. So that's why currently in version 6.1 that entry creation option is not given.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next is from where we can get the TSF file and related Excel template for import of stock item and non-stock B2B downloaded from GST portal.
Okay, for that, please check CA community. Komal, we will try to circulate those formats again, maybe today or tomorrow. And from that itself, everybody can get the templates. We have that templates which we circulated last year. So as per the last year formats, that templates will be valid. You can use it for the last year, but please note the GST has changed the format from December. So from the December 2024, the template will not work because we don't have that rate related information with respect to a transaction. So we cannot simply import it from that incomplete information. So
So
up to
are these
November that will work.
Excel, so are these Excel templates like available in our help page or something?
We'll need to fetch that Excel template.
Oh, okay. Done. We'll look it into the other way. Yeah.
Yes.
So if as a buyer we reject the invoice under IMS, what is the impact on supplier? What is the option available to the supplier?
So supplier, whenever supplier has got any rejections, then that rejection goes to the counterparty, and counterparty needs to take any corrective action to update that particular amount. For example, let's say there is an amount which is incorrect, and due to correction of amount that has been rejected by a party, so that counterparty needs to speak with the party who has rejected it and make the corrections accordingly. So that will reflect in the IMS. So in IMS outward, if you visit the IMS outward section, wherein you can check the status of each and every invoices, sales invoices that you are uploading, and what is the action taken by the counterparty, that is your own customers. So
Yeah.
that counterparty will have option to amend those particular invoices and post that amendment in the next written period.
Okay. So if the RCM is more than in books as compared to 2B, what is the effect in GSTR3B?
So RCM is
More in the books
more in the
compared to
books.
the, yeah.
Correct. So this situation is going to be most of the time because all the RCM are not getting captured at the moment. So we'll have to go with the correct RCM reporting, RCM liability reporting. If it is more than what is reported in the GST portal, probably there are few parties which have yet not filed, or there are few parties which are outside that particular purview which are not registered. So that part of reconciliation will remain unreconciled to an extent we don't have information, because that information doesn't flow from the GST portal, right? So in that case, you will have to continue the same practice that you are doing currently. Report all the RCM liability for that particular month as per your books of accounts and as per the bills and invoices that you have in your possession, and follow the same practice. Don't depend on the IMS for reconciliation part, since RCM invoices are yet not part of IMS. Currently only B2B, credit note, debit note, and amendments with respect to B2B credit note and debit note are part of IMS.
Okay. Yeah. Moving on by Mr. Sumit, when we downloaded the Form B, etc., Form 3B, where does it get saved? Will it increase my data storage of my system?
So IMS is just a fraction of data that is downloaded in the text format. So it will not impact your data size in a huge extent because IMS is just a temporary data to change the status and upload that status back to the GST portal. Once you have already updated that particular status, uh, that the data is nullified on the portal. So there is no particular huge amount of data that will impact your data size. So rest assured about that.
Okay. So the next question is a little big one, by Mr. Manish. We have generated the e-invoice in wrong GST, and the wrong invoice was rejected by the party in the IMS system. This is obvious. Now, can we amend the e-invoice or issue a credit note against the wrong party invoice and give a new invoice to the actual party? And this will be possible in the next month. If the e-invoice is amended on the GST portal, will it be valid? EV bill cannot be generated, or can we generate without transit the goods, or can the old one remain valid? Do you want to see this question in case?
Yeah, so I can see that question. From this question, I can see that on my screen.
Okay,
So,
great.
so in this case, what has happened is e-invoice has been wrongly generated. So secondly, there is no provision to amend the uh, e-invoice. So and if you come across this particular situation within 24 hours, you have that limited time window to rectify that particular mistake. But since 24 hours has passed, so in this scenario, you will have to go through issuing credit note, right? So issuing credit note, you will be able to nullify the effect of that particular invoice which is already generated, right? And after that, you can generate a fresh invoice. Let's say if there is an e-way bill which is involved in this particular case, I doubt that if an e-way bill is involved, then it would not have been generated to the wrong party, because e-way bill captures all the information with respect to distance and the party address, and that is also validated by the transporter as well, right? So e-way bill, there is a distance possibility that could have been generated on the same, but yes, you need to reverse that effect of invoice through the credit note if you are not able to uh, make any changes, right? And do the same thing, create a fresh transaction through a new invoice, and that will make the older one as nullified in terms of liability, and your new invoice will be accurate in terms of proof of supply to that particular party, and e-way bill will flow according to the invoice newly generated. I hope that will help you to understand and rectify. Okay, next question is, please explain what is category invoices yet to be filed by supplier means. Yes, so IMS is a real-time system of invoice exchange between the different parties, a party and a counterparty. So here on the IMS, you can see two types of invoices. First set of invoices for which already GSTR1 is filed. So for those set of invoices for which GSTR1 is already filed, so you can claim those invoices under the category invoices filed by supplier. Now there are second set of invoices which are yet to be filed. Let's say we are doing our IMS on 15th, correct? Now let's say we have few parties which are generating invoices. Now in case of invoices, as soon as that invoice is prepared, within a certain time frame, that e-invoice gets transmitted to GST portal. And since that gets transmitted to GST portal, it remains as saved in that particular GSTR1. So on the IMS on 15th, we can also view those invoices which are generated for the current month from 1st to 15th July. But for which ITC we will be able to claim in the next month. So IMS is a real-time invoices. If someone has issued invoices for you day before yesterday, you can see it on the very next day as soon as it is transmitted to GSTR1. So that's why there are two categories. For ITC claim, we need to refer to a category for which invoices are filed by supplier. I hope that will answer. Yes. If we close system after getting connected through OTP and reconnect before period of 6 hours get over, we'll have to go for OTP again. Yes, sir, you will have to go for OTP again. Once you shut down TallyPrime after connecting with OTP, that API connection gets disconnected. So once you are connected, then please ensure that you are downloading everything that is required within that 6 hour period. Once it is downloaded, then if you close that TallyPrime, that connection will be over. But since you have the GST returns and the IMS data downloaded, you can do the matching process, reconciliation process, and connect again after completing that process. Any action undone before filing 3B? Yes, sir, definitely. Whatever action you have taken on IMS before filing 3B, you can undo it n number of times, any number of times. How to accept the invoices rejected earlier and 3B already filed? So, sir, in that case, you have already rejected those invoices and 3B is filed. So those invoices will no longer be available in the IMS. You will not be able to view those invoices. The only remedy to this is you will need to again request your counterparty to re-upload it with a minor amendment or with a fresh invoice, and then you can accept it. That is the controllable remedy you have in this case. If as a buyer we reject the invoice under IMS, what is the impact on supplier? Okay, we have already answered. So there is option. So there is an option of amendment with the supplier. They can amend that invoice, particular invoice, and they can re-upload in the upcoming GST return period cycle. If our input is single GST rate, then anti-creation, I doubt, because since that information is not flowing on the GST returns, that is not possible, because from the list of 500 or 200 bills it is difficult for somebody to understand whether a bill is having a single GST rate or a multi GST rate. It will be always a human intervention to decide that particular case. Can we reconcile to be automatically in 6.1 version? Yes, sir, you can reconcile to be automatically in 6.1. To reconcile automatically, your GSTN, your taxable amount, your tax amount has to match. If it is matching, the moment you download GSTR2B, it will auto reconcile. The status of that particular bill in GSTR2B report will be automatically changed to reconciled. But yes, there are few exceptions like round of differences due to non-GST amount on that particular purchase bill or a TDS amount in that particular bill. Those differences can be automatically ignored by one-time configuration in 6.1 version. Please do check out this. Can GSTR1A file from TallyPrime? No, sir. Currently, GSTR1A cannot be filed from TallyPrime. Yes, but product team has noted this. As soon as we have any update on GSTR1A, we'll definitely come up with that update from the product team. Good solution. Thank you so much, sir. Issue credit note about 24 hours and issue revised invoice. Yes, that's the solution that we already discussed. If the total invoice in Tally is 70K, but the uploaded invoice on invoice portal is 50K, can we amend the amount in invoice within 24 hours? You can amend. So e-invoice you cannot amend. And what all things can be updated in invoice within the like amount, the invoice number, GST rate? I think e-invoice you cannot amend. E-way bill you can amend with respect to transporter details and Part B details, or you can extend it. But for e-invoice once generated, you will have to issue a credit note to nullify that particular effect. I think nullifying that particular effect is the best solution. Yes, Kunalji, this is in continuation to what you have asked. So this text pertains to the same issue. So the best part is issue credit note, nullify that effect, and issue the revised invoice. Will the pending invoice automatically populate in next month 2B? So pending invoice will automatically populate in next month IMS. If we haven't taken any action on the next month IMS, it will be automatically accepted in the next month 2B. So practically, yes, it will automatically populate in the next month 2B if it is not rejected or kept pending in the next month IMS. What if we change the company? Will the connection end? Sir, connection will not end if we change the company. That's the flexibility. You can have multiple companies which is open inside one TallyPrime, and all companies will work. Yes, but please do not shut the company. That's the one aspect we need to consider while working with the multiple companies open. If I issue credit note to our customer, then should I need to take debit note from the customer? Yes, sir, it is as per the business practice. It depends on the counterparty as well. Few counterparties issues debit note, few counterparties do not issue debit note. They rely on the credit note. So it is a subjective matter on a B2B transaction and the party behavior. But ideally, you should keep it from the GST perspective, and you should keep it in the record to support your credit note. So if the session, will the session get expired if I switch the company in Tally? No, it will not expire. But if you close the company, the connection will expire. So please note down, if you are working with a multiple clients with respect to GST reconciliation, please do not close any company. You can switch between company using F3 button, and that way your API connection will not expire, and you can work with multiple companies simultaneously. Can we connect 2 to 3 files at a time through API access using OTP? Need certain more details. connect 2 to 3 files at a time through API. So yes, you can connect to 2 data through API access. There is no limitation in terms of connecting through API if it's the same company. Is IMS mandatory? No, IMS is not mandatory. It is voluntary as of now. If IMS is not actioned upon, it will not impact on any of the ITC. You can continue practicing claiming ITC using GSTR3B reconciliation, and that will work as it is, as we all are doing. Can we check on the outward side in TallyPrime which sales invoices are not accepted by customers? Sir, very nice question. That is part of future roadmap, and we will update you whenever we have that also incorporated inside our product. How to consider B2C RCM inputs? Are B2C is not part of IMS, and RCM invoices are also not made part of currently IMS framework. So those will not be available to accept reject through IMS at the moment until the government make it available on the IMS. Can we export invoices to amendment column? Cannot understand that particular question. Maybe you need more details with respect to that question. Credit note rejected by supplier which is not related to us, causing decrease of 2B ITC. How to get out of this? Best thing is you just reject it and that will get excluded. That is the best solution. What if we haven't done anything and all the invoices got selected? Then what will happen? If you have not done anything with respect to IMS, whatever is in your GSTR3B will be your final GSTR3B, and basis on that GSTR3B, you will need to calculate those reversals if it is there, or any ineligible ITC into the reversal column, and we will have to manage with the GSTR3B breakup into eligible ITC and not eligible or reversed ITC manually. The same thing you can filter it out at the IMS level. So nothing will happen, but you will have to keep record of reconciliation and breakup of total ITC and 2B, which all are claimed and which all are reversed manually. Once 2B is downloaded, TallyPrime shows the difference between 2B and booked invoices. Is it possible to book the invoice directly from the screen which shows the difference? If there is a difference between, and so there can be two situations in this, that invoice is present in TallyPrime and there is a difference, then only this question will arise. So in that scenario, better you can amend that particular invoice as per GST portal if that invoice in the GST portal is correct. If that particular invoice in the GST portal is not correct, it is erroneous, please do not make any amendment in your books of accounts or in any entry. Request your supplier to come up with the amendment and then your invoice will match. So I hope I have replied to both the situation. But you cannot create an invoice directly on the screen from the GSTR3B as of now, because we don't have GST rate information which is flowing in the GSTR3B. Let's say you have a purchase of you have a purchase bill wherein there are 10 items. Out of 10 items, 3 items have a different GST rate. The rest 7 items have a different GST rate. But in GSTR3B, you will have a single amount in the GST column. So how one will bifurcate between those 10 amounts? That becomes a clear, scenario wherein we don't have sufficient information. But to solve this, we will have some different solution in the future. So we'll come to that when we have a visibility on that solution. But currently from 2B, we cannot create voucher due to unavailability of rate related information. How long we can keep an invoice status as pending? You can keep invoice status pending till 30th November of the end of financial year, because that is the final date for claiming ITC for the previous financial year. Beyond that, we cannot keep it pending. So please take a note of it. That pending status is also time bound by the last month in which ITC can be claimed for the previous financial year. Can we use multiple GST number in a single ledger in Tally? Yes, you can use it. You can use multiple addresses, and that is possible. Please connect your Tally partner. They will help you. There is also a video available on the Tally Solutions YouTube channel. You can also go through that. IMS looks complex. So you are asking a question. IMS looks complex or needs more efforts from accountant side. So it is up to the ecosystem to take care. Currently, government has not made it mandatory. It is voluntary. And in that as well, what the government is saying, if you are not doing IMS, you continue claiming ITC as per GSTR3B practice, which is prevalent by everyone. So there is no compulsion, and it looks very easy from the status perspective that you can filter out your own GSTR3B. You did not rely on that whether my GSTR3B is a final one. You can include and exclude the bills from your GSTR3B. So that way it will make your GSTR3B more accurate and in line with your books of accounts. So take it from that perspective. IMS will be making the things very easy, and it will avoid certain amount related reconciliations, especially reversals reconciliation or the ineligible or a personal ITC reconciliation. You will not need to keep record of those bills separately for each month. So that's a big relief if we adopt it. Try from your side for 1 or 2 months. You will experience the difference between how you do it with 2B and how you can do it with IMS, with updated 2B. Yes, next question. If client is not maintaining data in Tally, what is the alternative method of upload data in IMS? You can go to portal, and by logging into portal, you can update the IMS status of each and every invoices individually or by selecting it few multiple invoices, but that will have to be done manually for each and every invoices. We have received multiple payments from various B2C customers during a month through UPI for sale of service. Can we issue single invoice for the same? That's a question which, so that question, I need more information whether it is from a statutory perspective. You can always issue a single invoice for a multiple payments. There is no specific rule about that for multiple payments, one invoice cannot be issued. But if there is a different statutory angle, please have more details or add more details to this. When compulsory, sir, we don't know when it is going to be compulsory, but currently it is voluntary for everyone to experience and learn what difference it creates in managing their ITC on a monthly basis. Can we use multiple GST? It's a repeat question. We'll avoid this. Some B2B invoices are uploaded as B2C in GSTR1. Now need to amend the invoices. How to export those data to GSTR1 amendment column? So there is an option of GST return effective date in TallyPrime. So whenever you are uploading B2B invoices or a B2C invoices in GSTR1, you have missed it, and next month you need to upload it or you need to amend it and get it uploaded on the next month, next return, next month GST return. So in that case, select all those invoices in the GST reports, GSTR1. On the right hand side, you will have an option called set effective date. That is a set GST return effective date. Select that month date for which GSTR1 is pending, and all your amendments will be automatically populated in the next month or a next quarter GSTR1. So use effective date option to populate those GSTR1 amendment onto the next month. Sometimes we have no idea about a particular invoice which is related to us or not. What can we do in this situation? So, sir, if we don't have visibility with respect to invoice, best thing is keep it pending, right? If let's say consider this situation, if we are not using IMS, what you will have to do? You will have to mandatory make that reversal in GSTR2B by specifying that amount. But if you are using IMS, you can keep it pending so that unwanted ITC or an ITC which is not ascertained will not come in your way, will not come in your reconciliation for that particular month. IMS is just the reconciliation mechanism. It doesn't have any legal impact of ITC, right? Yes, currently government has not notified the date of IMS to be a statutory reconciliation. So currently IMS is not a statutory reconciliation. Currently it does not have a legal impact, but should the government do it in the future, it will have legal impact from the date notified by the government in the future. Can we file two tally data set with single GST number? I think you are talking about merging two tally data of a single GST number. You can merge the data, and by merging the data, you should be able to file it. As a second alternative, you can use the data synchronization for two tally data sets for one GST number, and by virtue of synchronization, you will have all the data of branch and HO in one tally data, and you can file GSTR1 from that particular HO or a main tally data. I see this session is being recorded. Where you can find this link for download it. So, sir, that will be available on the Tally Solutions YouTube channel. In deemed accepted to be supplier credit note reflected in B2B CDNR with reason POS and supplier state are same but recipient state is different. Here ITC reduced in 3B. How to deal? Did not get your questions. So if a POS has, so I think this situation relates to a hotel bill wherein the POS is always a place of, location of the hotel. Similar kind of situation that you have narrated. That is what I understand from the text. So in this case, that will always reflect in the ITC ineligible because the POS is different, right? So in this case, in TallyPrime, you will have to mark that particular entry using F12 option. ITC ineligible for ITC, mark it as yes. So that will match with the ineligible section of GSTR2B with your TallyPrime. And that way you will have those particular bill matching in the GSTR2B, but yet ITC will not be calculated, claimed or uploaded. Consolidated data by GST, I did not understand. Until now, we used to no data available for import in IMS. Probably you have already filed the particular 3B for that month. That's why it is not available. Or corresponding party has not uploaded any invoices for the period for which the action is pending. That's the reason probably there is no data in the IMS. The moment it is uploaded or generated through invoice, it will be available in the IMS. Until now, we used to do the reconciliation in TallyPrime in 2B, wherein we selected reconcile, mismatch, etc. If we start using IMS, do we need to reconcile like old style also, or reconciling IMS is sufficient? So currently statutory reconciliation is GSTR2B only. Even though you are updating the status through IMS, you will have to do GSTR2B reconciliation because as per GST rules, it is the statutory reconciliation. And even though you are doing IMS, you have to do GSTR2B as per the rules prevalent as on date. But here, think from a different perspective that IMS is for, especially for someone who can identify that whether this particular invoice belongs to my business or not. So if a business owner or an accountant which are involved in day-to-day business operations, if they are able to update the status of invoices as a professional, think of a scenario wherein you will get your GSTR to be literally filtered out, accepted, rejected, or pending, and you will be able to support your ITC claim in an accurate manner, right? So think from that perspective. But yes, till government is not making it mandatory, we'll have to rely on the GSTR3B reconciliation because that's the statutory reconciliation. We are paying RCM as per books. How I compare RCM invoice in IMS? So RCM invoices are not part of IMS currently. If government is making them a part of IMS, then only we can compare it. Otherwise, we cannot compare it. Job work GST return, when will be implemented in Tally? Currently, sir, we don't have any update on the same. We'll update you. We'll also update our product roadmap when we have that visibility. We have received multiple payments from various students online for providing them mentorship during a month, and total sell approx 10 lakhs. Also for last few months, we had filed GST in B2C column by mentioning the actual number of invoice, which is around 3,000 to 4,000. From now on, can we show the total amount received as a single invoice? I do not suggest showing total amount as a single invoice. Continue doing whatever you are doing. That is the best practice as per GST. We are paying RCM as per books. That is a repeat question. Import data available in 2A but not showing in IMS. Sir, IMS is a different data and GSTR 2A is a different data. We cannot compare the IMS data versus 2A data. Please don't compare 2A versus IMS, because IMS gets 0 once GSTR3B for that particular month is filed. So IMS is not a return that you will download that particular IMS and it will remain as a return in your IMS. Once you have updated the status, it goes away. So that's a different perspective which we need to look to the IMS, not unlike GSTR2B. Since IMS handles invoice and ITC reconciliation, does it play any role in determining or influencing the credit ledger balance under GST? No. Currently, IMS doesn't play any influencer in determining credit ledger balance under GST. Whatever credit balance under GST is maintained as per the operation of GSTR 2B and 3B filing. That's yes, thank you so much for your compliments. IMS does not have any specific period. That means it will always consider bills for current month only. It will consider bills for the pending period only, not the current period. It is possible that you haven't filed for the current month, you haven't filed for the previous month. So it will be for the pending period only. Let's say you haven't filed for 2 months. So in your IMS, you will be able to see all the bills of that particular 2 months. Yep, Komal, we are done through July 9.
Super, Pat, like literally 62 plus questions you've answered, and great thing that we could complete the topic. Usually we do not have so much of time to take the questions in details. And I think one last question in the chat is popping up. If a supplier rejects an invoice, what effect does it have on the buyer? I think we have addressed this in the Q&A, no?
Yeah, we have already covered that particular.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone, thank you so much. We had close to 200 plus people with us, and still, even with the Q&A going on for the last half an hour, we have 100 plus audience Thank you so much, everyone. A lot of requests for the recording. I've shared the YouTube link. So please do refer to that and share with your peers who can see how to implement IMS in TallyPrime and make use of it. If you like the feature and you think there's use case, please upgrade to TallyPrime 6.1 and make the most of it. So thanks a lot, Pat. As always, very smooth flow and everything, and so many questions answered. Thank you for your time. I'll now end the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Komal, and thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.